kindly mark your attendance first. Quickly mark your attendance. Quickly mark your attendance. Ah, my back hurts. There are 5 of you. Fasi, Mohsen, Aman, Ahmed and Saboor. Fasi, Mohsen, एक मिनट चार्ट चेक करें. Mohsen, Ahmed, Saboor, Aman and Fasi. Okay, okay. Yes. अच्छा.
Ma'am,
Ambidextrous
it means to be equally skillful
with
with both right and left hands.
hands. Yes. Ambidextrous. If you remember, there used to be a cartoon on a cartoon that would air on Cartoon Network, Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter,
यस मैम जी मैम जीनियस सा बच्चा होता है
genius.
ग्लासेस पहनता होता है
Exactly. The good thing about Dexter was that he was a hard-working boy. He used to study hard. He was smart at many things related to science. Okay. Basically, Dexter means someone who works hard. Ambi means who is able to use both sides of his body. So ambidextrous means a person who can use both his hands to do something, using both hands at the same time to do something. You are ambidextrous when you type something on a keyboard. You use both hands when you type on your keyboard, isn't it? When you play a video game, you're using both hands, isn't it? So at times you are ambidextrous too. But there are people in the world who have the skill to draw exactly the same kind of picture, which can be a mirror image, using both hands at the same time. When my son was young, he could do that too. And I wanted to enhance that skill, but with time, he just got away with it. He's a lefty, by the way. So over here, Tawan is busy with the ambidextrous hand jive that marks faux production. That she's using both the hands at the same time to, she's to create that beautiful bowl of pho by adding the condiments from both hands. Okay. Tawan is busy with the ambidextrous hand movement that marks faux production. One arm grabs a fistful of noodles while the other finds a little sieve. Sieve is something that you strain tea out of. A question. My cousin is ambidextrous. Very nice. I am amazed at such people. You know, this is a natural human skill. The noodles are dunked in the smaller pan of boiling water for 5 seconds so that they are reheated. Then the noodles slide into the bowl. One hand artfully arranges little bouquets of coriander, mint, and chopped spring onion on top of the noodles. That is, she's garnishing it with them. In Vietnam, even street soup is served to please the eye as well as the stomach. Like in all of the Far Eastern countries, you must have noticed कि उनका जो the way they present the meal is very important. Have you ever seen mothers making bento boxes for children to take to school? Bento boxes are the lunch boxes basically. Boxes are it is considered that if a mother does not prepare the bento box in a nicer, pleasant way, she is not a good mother. That is how people, children judge each other's parents. Okay. And so if you ever notice, if you ever get to see videos from, I'll try to share one in today's lesson, how mothers, they prepare bento boxes. They add a boiled egg, and the boiled egg will be prepared to look like some animal, like a rabbit, like a hedgehog, a little mouse, a porcupine. Okay. So it is important that the food should be pleasant to look at. When you look at an appealing, presentable, meal, your it will you will automatically want to eat it happily. Okay, that's the purpose. सब्जियां भी इतने खूबसूरत तरीके से उनकी अम्मियां काट के फ्लावर्स के पैटर्न्स काट काट के उनके लंच बॉक्स में डालती हैं बच्चों के, कि बच्चे का खुद ब खुद वो प्यारी प्यारी चीजें देख के दिल करता है कि अब मैं इसको खाऊं, ठीक है। और इनके चाइनीज पीपल के बच्चे गोरों के बच्चों की तरह सब्जियां खाने में नखरे नहीं करते, बाय द वे। इन वियतनाम इवन स्ट्रीट सूप इज सर्व टू प्लीज द आई एज वेल एज द स्टमक. Next into the bowl are some slices of beef. I ask for some of the well boiled and some of the raw, which the crowd thinks is greedy. Kyunki he asks for a balance of both raw and well done. People think that it's greedy. Why? Because he's asking for something which is, not common over there. They take little of the raw and a big chunk of the well cooked one, the shoulder part. And at last, and last of all, a great ladle full. Ladle is the deep spoon used to, get any kind of a soup or curry from a huge pot. उर्दू में हम इसको क्या कहते हैं? वो दूध डालने वाला क्या होता है? पव्वा होता है ना, हम उर्दू में पव्वा कहते हैं उसको, जिससे अम्मी चाय निकाल के कप्स में डालती हैं. That the one that has a big bowl like portion to scoop things out. ठीक है? It's called a ladle. And a great ladle full of the stock from the seething, piping hot, boiling pot. That is the real event. That is the real event. Okay? वो जो आखिर में एक ladle full जो stock का डालती है जब उस सारे के ऊपर, तो that is the sight one should see. Then the bowl is thrust at me, मेरी तरफ धकेल दिया जाता है, at me with battered wooden chopsticks. और जोर से वो, मतलब जल्दी जल्दी में कर रही है ना काम, तो उसके ऊपर जल्दी से वो wooden chopsticks रख के मेरी तरफ कर देती है. And a porcelain soup spoon, sorry, वो जो porcelain का बना हुआ, चाइना का बना हुआ, चाइनी जो मटेरियल होता है उसका spoon. Crouched on a stool, because these are the low stools, my far moment has come. It's beautiful. The gentle greens, the pinks. The greens are from the mint, coriander, and spring onions. The pinks from the meat. And rain cloud grays. Rain cloud grays comes from the onion and the rice noodles. In the bowl are the stuff of watercolors. It looks like the whole bowl, the far bowl, looks like someone has painted a picture using watercolors, because watercolors, they are the most delicate kind of colors used, and these are the colors used in the far eastern paintings. The vapor curls around my face like wick under a towel. Wick is, दिखाऊं wick? एक मिनट. लो जी. कहाँ हूँ मैं, किधर हूँ? एक मिनट जरा. How many of you have seen or used this thing?
Vicks, ma'am.
Yeah.
खांसने के लिए मैम.
हाँ.
Yeah.
What happens? इस साल तो
Ma'am,
मेरा ख्याल है आप लोग, you guys haven't fallen ill a lot this year, but normally when you fall ill, what does your mother do?
ma'am, she puts this in hot water,
Huh?
and we have to breathe in and out.
Yeah, my cap just broke because my daughter was playing with it the other day and she broke the whole of a cap. But what do we do? Yes, Aman? You put it in hot water and?
Ma'am, we have to breathe in it and out.
And what do we do with the towel?
We place it on top of it,
Huh?
so the air doesn't.
Yeah, so that you can breathe in the fumes. Get it? Now, if you have ever taken the fumes from wicks under a towel, you get this idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, the vapors that are rising from the bowl of fire are around my face like wicks under a towel. What sort of figurative speech is used in
Simile.
this? Again, simile. Very good. Why does Aman tell me all the time? Why doesn't other people participate? And because it is like wicks under a towel, what does he do? I inhale. There's that same sweet come hither smell. Come hither smell, tempting smell. The smell that is asking me to come here. Come hither means to come here. There's that same sweet come hither smells that draw us to Thao Wan's stall from the top of the street. You can, now that the bowl of pho is in my hand, and the vapors are around my face, I can again smell the same tempting, calling smell, the smell that was, making me come towards the stall when I was at the top of the street. बेसिकली क्या वो इस जुमले में बता रहा है कि जब मैं स्ट्रीट के शुरू में खड़ा हुआ था और मैंने खुशबू सूंघी थी, वो खुशबू ऐसी थी जैसे मुझे बुला रही हो Thao Wan के स्टॉल की तरफ. And now that that bowl of pho is in my hand, I can smell that smell up close. Those Christmas cake flavors again, cinnamon and ginger. Cinnamon and ginger, they are both added to pho. And these are the same spices that are added to a Christmas cake. Okay? So the bowl of pho is reminding him of that festive time that is important for anybody. I try a sip of the clear soup. It is shockingly sweet at first. A fizzy drink gone flat in the sun. बिल्कुल जिस तरह आप कोई भी fizzy drink खोलें और उसको धूप में रख दें तो उसकी गैस उड़ जाती है और उसका एक बस मीठा सा टेस्ट रह जाता है. That is what he is comparing the soup with. Now, over here, is it a simile or a metaphor? It is shockingly
Metaphor.
sweet at first. A physical
Metaphor.
Very good. It's a metaphor over here because there's no use of the word like or as. But then the depths and riches of the flavor come through down to the oaky beef stock base. Oaky from the oak tree. Where did the oak tree come from in the soup?
Ma'am, the ingredients.
No. Nowhere in the ingredients does the writer mentions oak tree. Oak wood का तो कहीं पे भी जिक्र नहीं हुआ ना. तो ये oak का जायका कहाँ से आ रहा है उसमें सूप में?
Smell.
Where is the taste of the oak coming?
From the trees.
Where did Thao Wan add the tree in the soup?
No.
In the restaurant, probably.
No, she's not in a restaurant. She's at a stall. I'll show you something. Something from paragraph 3. Wait. Oh, wait. Where did that go? Okay. Okay, what is this? Read this and then I want you to link it with the oaky taste. How many of you have ever been to a village and eaten food cooked on wood fire?
Me.
Who
Me
else?
too.
Who
Ma'am,
else?
in my grandfather's house, everything is actually made on fire.
On fire. So have you ever tasted, have you ever noticed how the food which is cooked at home has a different taste compared to the food that you eat at your grandfather's house cooked on the fire?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the difference?
It's
Does it smell of the wood as well? or the charcoal?
मैम जरूरी तो नहीं है कि मैम ओक ट्री की मैम ब्रांच हो या वुड हो.
Exactly. The thing is, over here, the charcoal that she has cooked them on had the oak branches, hence the oaky taste in the food. See, whenever, if you have ever had a barbecue, um, and at the end of the barbecue, if you cook a pot of tea on the coals, the tea will have the barbecue, coal flavor in it. Okay? If you have ever been to a dhaba restaurant, and you have eaten that drunk that matka chai, the matka chai has the charcoal flavor in it. Okay? It comes from being cooked on the charcoal. Okay, that flavor automatically, it's not that you're adding it inside, it's because it is cooked on that special fire that the food grabs the taste from there. Clear? Much subtler and more complex than the alcohol heavy goi tai wo noodle soups of Thailand and southern China. Now over here, this goi tai wo is another kind of a noodle soup served in Thailand and southern China. And the the gui tao is alcoholic and very heavy kind of a soup compared to a pho. I dig with my chopsticks and come up with a tangle of noodles, a sliver of raw beef that has poached itself just enough in the stock to go pearl colored. Okay? That the beef has, it is so nicely cooked inside the stock that it has become pearl colored, clear and, creamy as pearl. A crunchy shoot of spring onion. See how different tastes, different textures that are there are being described over here. Remember, descriptive writing is all about explaining different senses. Notice how initially in the previous paragraph, everything is relevant to which sense? Till here, everything is relevant to which sense? The sense of?
Description.
No, the sense of?
The soup.
No, sense of. कितनी senses होती हैं humans की?
5.
5 senses होती है ना. मैंने क्या बताया था? What did I explain when we were in the class? The descriptive writing refers to 5 senses. Over here, the gentle greens, the pinks and rain-colored grays. Over here, which sense is being talked about? The sense of? Sight.
Smell.
Sight. Pinks and greens and rain. These are the colors that you see. Over next, what is being, which sense is spoken about over here?
Smell.
Smell. And then over here, from here till whatever we're going to read, all of this is the sense of?
Taste.
Taste. It is very good indeed. For the next bite, I shake a bit of chopped chili and a squeeze of lime to give some edge to the sweetness. And very soon, I'm looking at the bottom of the bowl. My Hove applauds. You're supposed to eat fast because pho is supposed to be eaten very quickly. And my Hoi, who's the father of Thao Wan, is now clapping for him that you have quickly eaten your pho. In 5 minutes, the noodles become waterlogged because the longer you're going to take to eat it, if you have ever noticed the ramen that you eat, the Maggi noodles that you eat at home, if you leave them in the soup, they become soggy and they expand in their size and you can't eat them. They become so gooey and they become just gross. Okay, so you have to eat the ramen the Maggi noodles or any kind of rice-based noodles very quickly, because they have the tendency to absorb the stock. Okay, and they become this situation is called waterlogged. They absorb all the water, and they become they double in their size, and they become gooey and disgusting. To the texture become, they lose their texture. And he offers me another teacup of rice wine to celebrate. Now he is offering him some rice wine to drink along with it. Trying to get to the secrets of this fabulous breakfast is harder than eating it. Tawan is busy and just a touch hesitant to reveal the mysteries before the crowd. She doesn't want to reveal the secret to her recipe. Cow bone and beef bone go into the stock, she tells me. There is some debate. There is some debate on the, okay, we are now on the last 10 minutes thingy. Agar मैं 10 मिनट में lesson नहीं complete कर सकी, you have to read it, please. This is going to be the third day that we are reading. um, there is some debate on the difference between these: ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, and star anise, accounting for the licorice smell. I'll share the recipe with you guys so today, so that you get to see what are all these different spices. Each day, when Tauban gets home around lunchtime, she starts boiling the following day's stock. That is, she prepares the next day's whatever she has to sell the next morning. She will start preparing it this evening. Take it. It needs at least 14 hours to brew. Okay? All of these: cow bone, beef bone, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, star anise, they all will go into a huge cauldron full of water, which need to be brewed for 14 hours. Brewed means to cook at a very low flame, so that all the juices, all the flavors, they come out of the different things that are being put inside the water.
Wow.
The only question that's clearly answered is about those dwarf sized stools. ठीक है, वो जो छोटे stools जिनके ऊपर लोग बैठ रहे थे, सिर्फ उनके बारे में वो ठीक से जवाब देती है. Why are they so small? That's so we can run away from the police quickly. Okay. Why? Street fire is outlawed in modern Vietnam, which of course makes it all the more pleasurable. ठीक है, जो चीज whatever is illegal is more attractive, isn't it so? जिस चीज से भी आपको मना करते हैं, आप वही काम आपको करना पसंद आता है. ठीक है ना, ये human nature है. Street fire is outlawed in modern Vietnam. We're not talking about the old Vietnam. We're talking about the modern day Vietnam, which of course makes it all the more pleasurable. And because people are abstain from, selling it on the street, it is allowed in the restaurants. It is allowed at home, but street stalls pe usko bechna is not allowed. They're guerrilla restaurants. Guerrilla, as in the guerrilla warfare, which originated from Cambodia and Vietnam, by the way. Says Chow, who is translating. We're Vietnamese, we are famous for these tactics. The guerrilla tactics originated from Vietnam. A small unit, highly mobile, makes an impact and then moves out fast. Okay? The guerrilla soldiers, they used to attack in a small number. They were quick, that is highly mobile, very quick, and they used to attack with an impact. बहुत जोर से वो attack किया करते थे. So similarly, these stalls, the stools are smaller so that they can be grabbed quickly, or even if they leave them over there, it wouldn't matter because they are very cheap to buy. So they can be quickly collected, and you can run away from the police in a matter of seconds. The portable restaurants are now only illegal because they breach street tidiness rules. This is the reason why they are illegal. They are not allowed. Previously, the police hounded the street vendors because they were capitalists. They were minting money out of selling their pho. All restaurants were banned, as well as was all private enterprise after 1954, when Ho Chi Minh and the Communist Party took over. Ho Chi Minh is the ruler of Vietnam. It was not until the late 80s when the communist leadership began Doi Moi, Vietnam's own process of perestroika, that restaurants were officially permitted again. Perestroika is to allow people to work again. Okay. Doi Moi, I wonder if they explain it over here. No, they're not explaining it over here. Is it there in your text, by the way? It's not there in your text. Acha. Okay. Illicit food stalls survived, though the soup became a luxury, even when food shortages meant the stock. Oh, अच्छा ऐसा करते हैं हम यहाँ से आगे ना आपके टेक्स्ट में से पढ़ लेते हैं. Here in Hanoi, between 1954 and the late 1980s, you'll be reading from the book now, okay? How much time am I left with? I'm left with 4 minutes now, okay? I'll try to make it quick. Here in Hanoi, I'm on paragraph 6. Here in Hanoi, between 1954 and the late 1980s, restaurants were banned by the communists, but illicit pho stalls survived. Even when food shortages meant the stock might be made from more than tiny river crabs, the garnish from the ground up shells and legs. For my friend Huang, who was an adolescent during Vietnam's famine years, pho was an unaffordable luxury. She remembers the first time she tasted pho in 1981 during what people called the hungry time, when the famine was at its peak, when the wars had devastated the food supply. Age 16, Huang had been selected for a scholarship in the Soviet Union, Russia back then. At that time, her diet was rice, fish sauce, and a yellow starch. She said to be a feed for animals donated by countries in the Eastern Europe. This yellow starch was margarine, which we happily eat today. Margarine, if you even search it on Google, if you search it on YouTube, margarine was basically a fat-based product which was given to goose and ducks to make them plump. Okay, margarine. If you look at it from scientific point of view, margarine is not good for human consumption, but it was introduced to the people for human consumption on purpose because there was food shortage back in those days. So, what did Huang eat when she was selected to go on a scholarship to Russia? She would eat rice, she would eat a fish sauce, and she would eat that yellow starchy fatty thing, which was basically margarine. She weighed only 33 kilos at the age of 33. That is, she was underweight. Huang's mother decided she needed fattening up before she went off to Russia, so she invested in pho. It must have cost her more than her daily wage. It was a delicious luxury and an extraordinary thing. You cannot understand how hungry we were. You cannot imagine, you cannot fathom the hunger of the Vietnamese people. One's friend Chow similarly could rarely afford to eat at the fast stalls of his youth. You've just eaten more beef than I would see in 6 months. The reason when our writer asked for both the kinds of meat and the rest of the people, they thought that he was being greedy was because this line tells you why. Cha says, you've just eaten more beef than I would in 6 months back in those days. वो 6 महीने में भी उतना गोश्त नहीं खाता था जितना एलेक्स ने इस एक प्याले में खा लिया. Get the idea? Get the idea of the hunger of the people? You've just eaten more beef than I would see in 6 months. He tells me after our far breakfast, he remembers a day during the famine years when his mother got hold of 2 eggs. She boiled them, shelled them, and mixed them up with fish sauce so that more people will be not one or two. हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है, एक अंडा एक बंदा खाता है ना, ये 2 अंडे एक बंदा खाता है. But for them, 2 अंडे उस औरत ने, his mother, she mixed them up in the fish sauce, and so that everyone could eat. We are now on the last few seconds. I'll wrap things up so that everything finishes before I can say goodbye. Then she shared them among 9 people of the household. Everything I eat now, eggs, peanuts, sugar, is precious, says Chow. With that, we come to the end of our lesson. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, please be prepared for the question answers. Tomorrow, I'm only going to ask the questions. You are going to give me the answers. So right now, I'd like you to sit down, quickly take down the answers to all the questions, note form mein, and tomorrow we're going to